Hello, Tony here, back on my channel once more with another deck profile. Wrapping up Ghosts from the Past, the deck profile that we'll be doing this week will be of the last of the 3 archetypes to debut in that set. A deck that descends from the skies like a shooting star and is a revamp of an iconic monster from the DM era, that being the Starry Knight deck. So who remembers a monster called Seiaryu? Debuting all the way back in 2002 as a Yu-Gi-Oh! Dark Duel Story promo card, Seiaryu roughly translates to Holy Night Dragon. And despite its limited appearances in anime and following media, Seiaryu ended up becoming a fan favorite monster among players. 18 years later, Konami of the OCG would see fit for this card to make a reappearance in an all-new archetype dedicated to this monster, known as the Holy Night archetype. An archetype that, coming to the TCG, was aptly centered to our well-known Starry Knight archetype. Playstyle-wise, the Starry Knight deck employs a control-based strategy modeled after a shooting star, centering around their boss monster, a retrain of the original Seiaryu in our Starry Knight Starry Dragon. Utilizing various support cards from the Starry Knight archetype alongside powerful spell and trap cards, Starry Knight Starry Dragon will ascend and descend onto the field to whittle away your opponent's resources while going in for massive chunks of damage, something that I hope to showcase as I get through the deck profile. Anyway, I've droned on enough. Without a further ado, let's get into the deck profile. Starting off our archetype with the retrain of the original Seiaryu, we have our 3 Starry Knight Starry Dragon. Starry Knight Starry Dragon, like Seiaryu, is a light level 7 dragon monster with 2500 attack and 2300 defense. When special summoned from the hand, Starry Knight Starry Dragon can destroy 1 card on the field, and when it attacks a monster, it can banish that monster to gain an additional attack. Furthermore, should it be battling a dark monster, it cannot be destroyed by battle, and it cannot be destroyed by card effects from a card effect of a dark type monster. Ignoring the dark immunity, which may only come up in certain matchups, albeit useful, there are a few things to note about Starry Knight Starry Dragon. Starting off with its on-summon effect, the ability to destroy any card on the field, not just a monster but also potentially a spell or trap card, means that Starry Knight Starry Dragon makes an immediate impact onto the board upon hitting the field. And it's also important to note that this effect does not only target your opponent's cards, but can target your cards as well, something that is relevant later. Moving on to the battle effect, the effect to banish any monster that Starry Knight Starry Dragon attacks and then to attack again is not only a great way to clear the field, but to also banish pesky monsters that Starry Knight cannot get rid of to attack indirectly for heavy damage. Moving on from there, it's also important to note that both of these effects are not once per turn, meaning that having multiple copies to put onto the field or attack with can trigger the effect multiple times to not only get rid of multiple monsters or cards, but to also deal multiple damage multiple times. These things combined with the support that we play in this deck means that Starry Knight Starry Dragon is a card that you can summon multiple times throughout the game to clear your opponent's field and deal heavy damage for your opponent. Moving on from there to the monsters that support our Starry Knight Starry Dragon, we start off with the 3 Starry Knight Rayel, Starry Knight with a K instead of an N. Starry Knight Rayel is a level 4 fairy type monster which, upon being normal summoned, allows you to add any Starry Knight spell or trap card from your deck to the hand. Furthermore, while in the graveyard, Starry Knight Rayel can banish itself to target any other Starry Knight monster in your graveyard and special summon it onto the field. Consisting of 2 effects that almost every successful archetype needs to function, Starry Knight Rayel, upon being normal summoned, acts as a searcher for all your Starry Knight spell or trap cards, a majority of which have effects to special summon out your Starry Knight Starry Dragon onto your field, thus making this card important for setting up a majority of your boards. Furthermore, while in the graveyard, Rayel acts as a reborn for any of your other Starry Knight monsters, not only being a great way to recover resources, but to also put a Starry Knight monster onto the field, with a majority of them also having effects to put your Starry Knight Starry Dragon onto your field, thus making it equally important for setup as well. However, it's important to note that Rayel can't actually summon out Starry Knight Starry Dragon due to the fact that Starry Knight Starry Dragon is Starry Knight with an N instead of a K, while Starry Knight Rayel here only summons back Starry Knight with a K monsters. Moving on to our next Starry Knight monster, we have our 2 Starry Knight Astel. Starry Knight Astel, like Rayel, is a level 4 fairy type monster with an on-field effect that's a quick effect that allows you to target any light monster you control, tribute it, and then special summon 1 level 7 light dragon from your hand. Furthermore, while in the graveyard, Astel can banish itself to target any level 7 light dragon and increase its attack by 1000 until the end of your opponent's turn. As one of the first prime examples of how we're going to be special summoning out our Starry Knight Starry Dragon, Starry Knight Astel defines the Starry Knight playstyle rather well. Utilizing the quick effect of Starry Knight Astel or any of the other quick effects of our Starry Knight cards, we'll be special summoning out Starry Knight Starry Dragon on our opponent's turn to utilize its on summon effect to disrupt our opponent. Then on our turn, we're going to be utilizing the ignition effect of our Starry Knight cards, like our Starry Knight Astel, to support our Starry Knight Starry Dragon in clearing our opponent's field and dealing heavy damage to our opponent, of which Starry Knight Astel's effect is incredibly useful. Not only does that 1000 boost apply on both turns, thus making our Starry Knight Dragon a little harder to kill on the following turn, it also makes our Starry Knight Starry Dragon big enough to run over bigger monsters it would otherwise have to banish, thus permanently clearing them out such that they don't become threats on the following turn. Rounding off the Starry Knight monsters, we have the one Starry Knight Flamel. Flamel, like Rayel and Astel, is a level 4 fairy which, while on the field or in the hand, should your opponent declare an attack, can send itself to the graveyard to special summon one level 7 light dragon from your hand onto the field. Furthermore, while in the graveyard, Flamel can banish itself to target any level 7 light dragon in your graveyard and add it to your hand. While you may occasionally utilize Flamel's on-field / in-hand effect to special summon out a Starry Knight Starry Dragon when your opponent declares an attack to block the attack and then destroy one of your opponent's cards, in most cases you'll be utilizing Flamel for its graveyard effect. As it's currently known, Starry Knight Starry Dragon can only get its destruction effect when special summoned from the hand, meaning that any attempt to bring it back from the graveyard with cards like Monster Reborn will not trigger that effect. Flamel thus provides a way to add back your Starry Knight Starry Dragon after it's been destroyed to add it back into your hand to restart your strategy and thus allow you to continue to play with business as usual. Moving on to outside support, we start off with the Artifact engine, of which the monsters we play are 2 Artifact Scythe and 2 Artifact Lancea. On top of being both monsters which when utilized on your opponent's turn could end some decks in their plays for that turn, both of these cards are light fairies, meaning that there is some inherent synergy with the rest of the Starry Knight archetype, particularly with one Starry Knight card which we will explore later. Furthermore, it's also important to note that Starry Knight Starry Dragon can pop your own cards, meaning that if you were to draw into Artifact Scythe or Lancea, you could always set them such that on your opponent's turn, when you special summon out Starry Knight Starry Dragon, you can pop them in their set form to special summon them and utilize them that way as well, thus making them a lot less bricky than initially conceived. Finally, rounding off the monsters, we're playing the one Dogmatika Ecclesia. Now, the last time we saw a lone Dogmatika Ecclesia in a deck, we were utilizing it for something known as the Punishment loop, and in this deck we are utilizing it for the same purpose. First off, it's important to note that we really don't special summon from the X deck, in most cases preferring to leave the Starry Knight Starry Dragon on the field instead of making a Link or an Xyz monster. And as a result of that, we can use Ecclesia to search into our Dogmatika Punishment, which can sun something like an Entis for disruption. But if we actually open the Punishment first, we can use Punishment to send a Titanclad, which will summon out our Ecclesia to grab a second Punishment for something that we call the Punishment loop, thus providing us a continuous stream of disruption outside of our Starry Knight cards. Going into the spells, starting with our main searcher, we have our 3 Starry Knight Balefire. Balefire is a normal spell card which when activated either allows you to add a Starry Knight monster or a level 7 light dragon from the deck to your hand. Furthermore, if you activate this card and then you control no monsters after the search, and your opponent controls a dark type monster, you can then special summon one level 7 light dragon from your hand onto the field. Now, there's not much to be said about Starry Knight Balefire outside of the fact that it's incredibly good for the deck. While the dark special summoning effect may rarely come up, the main focus of this card will definitely be the searching. Being able to add any Starry Knight monster or Starry Knight Starry Dragon from your deck to the hand is incredibly crucial, especially since the latter is your win condition and the former is the means to put your win condition onto the field, thus making Balefire incredibly crucial in setting up your boards. Furthermore, it's important to note that Balefire can search you Starry Knight Rayel, which upon normal summon then allows you to grab any other Starry Knight spell or trap card from your deck to the hand, thus making Balefire here translatable to any other Starry Knight support card in your deck. Going into our second and last Starry Knight spell card, we have our 2 Starry Knight Ceremony. Starry Knight Ceremony is a continuous spell card which, while face up on the field, has 2 effects, of which you can only activate one of them per turn. The first effect is an ignition effect where during your main phase, you can reveal one light fairy monster in your hand and then add one level 7 light dragon from your deck to the hand before putting that revealed monster to the bottom of the deck. The second effect is a trigger effect, where if your opponent activates a monster effect, you can special summon one level 7 light dragon from your hand to the field. While nowhere near as versatile as Starry Knight Balefire, Starry Knight Ceremony is equally crucial for your Starry Knight deck. The first effect effectively allows you to trade any of your main deck monsters for a Starry Knight Starry Dragon, which may seem rather detrimental when trading in a Starry Knight monster for that dragon, but is incredibly beneficial when you trade in a bricked artifact for that dragon, effectively giving you access to your win condition while putting back artifacts into your deck to be summoned out of the deck later with cards like Artifact Sanctum. Furthermore, the second effect gives you an easy way to special summon out that Starry Knight Starry Dragon in response to one of your opponent's basic actions, activating a monster effect, thus allowing you to special summon that card on your opponent's turn to disrupt your opponent while still putting that monster onto the field for offense in the following turn. Wrapping up the spells with our consistency spells, we start off with our 3 Pot of Prosperity and then finish off with our 3 Pot of Duality. Both these cards let you dig deep into your deck to grab a specific card from your deck with the least restrictions possible for your deck. Prosperity banishes upwards of 6 cards from your X deck to then reveal 6 cards from your deck and add one of them to your hand. A restriction that is null given the fact that you rarely access your X deck, but you definitely need cards like Rayel or Balefire in your opening hand to begin your plays. And Duality might seem contradictory given the fact that you have to special summon Starry Knight Starry Dragon so many times, but as it's made abundantly clear, you often will be special summoning out Starry Knight Starry Dragon on your opponent's turn, meaning that you could use Duality on your turn to set up and then use those cards that you grab with Duality to then special summon Starry Knight Starry Dragon on their opponent's turn to then beat down your opponent on the following turn after that. Moving on into the traps, we start off with Starry Knight's primary playmaker in our 2 Starry Knight Arrival. Starry Knight Arrival is a continuous trap card which states that during the main phase, as a hard one to return, you can either A. special summon one level 7 light dragon from your hand to the field, or B. return one level 7 light dragon from the field to your hand. For having such a simple and innocuous effect, Starry Knight Arrival actually takes the Starry Knight playstyle to an entirely new level. As a continuous trap card, not only does Arrival provide you the means to special summon out your Starry Knight Starry Dragon on your opponent's turn to utilize its destruction effect as a form of disruption, but it also provides you as a quick effect the ability to return your Starry Knight Starry Dragon back into your hand, allowing it to dodge effects that might remove it from the field, but also putting it back into the hand for reuse, thus allowing you to maximize the use of a single Starry Knight Starry Dragon throughout the course of an entire game to repeatedly disrupt your opponent, while also going in for damage as a form of guerrilla tactics, while still allowing you to reduce the amount of recursion cards you have to play to return your Starry Knight Dragon back into your hand or field for use again. In fact, extrapolating from this card's effect, it's actually quite possible to build a loop strategy of which you can win games with. The idea behind this strategy is that on your opponent's turn, you're going to activate Arrival's effect to special summon out your Starry Knight Starry Dragon to disrupt your opponent before leaving that dragon onto the field going into your turn to utilize that dragon to attack your opponent for damage or clear their field. Then you're going to activate Arrival's effect to return your Starry Knight Starry Dragon back into your hand to repeat the process, providing you the means to continuously disrupt your opponent, but also generating a constant stream of offense that your opponent can out to slowly grind them for game. Moving on to our last Starry Knight card, we have our 2 Starry Knight Blast. Starry Knight Blast is a normal trap card which can be activated whenever your opponent activates a card or effect, in which you can return one level 7 light dragon from the field to your hand to negate that effect and then destroy that card. Now, the activation condition that this card has to return a level 7 light dragon from the field to the hand might be a little awkward, especially since you might not always control that level 7 light dragon. The benefits that this card provides far outweigh that awkwardness. The fact that this card allows you to return a Starry Knight Starry Dragon back into the hand to be summoned off of something like your Starry Knight Astel or Arrival not only allows you to save Arrival's effect for the special summon, but it also does so at the benefit of negating one of your opponent's cards. Essentially, stopping one of your opponent's plays will set you up for a follow-up disruption further down the line. Finally, rounding off the deck with some generic traps, we start off with the 3 Artifact Sanctum to special summon out our artifacts on our opponent's turn, a fact made easier thanks to our Starry Knight Ceremony. We have the 3 Dogmatika Punishment for the aforementioned punishment loop. We have the 3 Infinite Impermenance for basic effect negation, as well as the 2 trap tricks to grab any of these normal traps alongside our Starry Knight Blast. Finally, wrapping things up with the X deck, it's important to note that the X deck is incredibly fluid given how little we'll be accessing it. In most cases, you'll be sending the cards from the X deck to the graveyard for things like punishment or just banishing them for prosperity, and as a result of that, most of the cards in your X deck are just generic good stuff that you might access when you need them. In fact, I don't even have 15 cards from you, just some examples that you might want to consider. Starting off with some Exceeds, you might want to play a Mecha Phantom Beast Draco Sack or a Big Eye for when you want to overlay 2 Starry Knight Starry Dragon. Since you're playing the Dogmatika Punishment, you might want to play a single Entis, maybe a Titanclad, or a Barren Blossom as targets that trigger when they're sent off of their punishment. Since you're playing some Exceeds options, you might also want to play a Bujinki Asahima, or since you're playing artifacts, you might want to play an Artifact Dagda. And no one can forget that we can just play a generic Nightmare package consisting of some number of Cerberus, some number of Phoenix, and some number of Unicorn, and since you're playing level 7s in your Starry Knight Starry Dragon, you might want to play a single Blackluster Soldier, Soldier of Chaos, that you can make with the Starry Knight Starry Dragon to give it the maximum protection that it has available. And that's going to do it for our Starry Knight deck profile. So I'm going to be frank with you, this deck probably won't be meta anytime soon. Despite the fact that this deck can play artifacts and summon out its boss monster so consistently on either player's turn for disruption, the deck just doesn't generate enough disruption nor output enough damage consistently to contend with a lot of the meta decks, and as a result of that, you probably won't be seeing this deck in the top tables anytime soon. But that doesn't mean this deck isn't hella fun. The fact that this deck models after a shooting star and can do it so consistently makes this one of the better legacy archetypes to be released for the game, and I definitely encourage players to try this deck out on a casual level when they have a chance. Regardless though, my name is Tony Yang, this has been a Starry Knight deck profile. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys next time.